So last time we looked at how you can tell the difference between a fully foreclosed bank-owned property and a short sale. Let's assume now that you're using our search engine to pull up bank-owned property only. You're sifting out the short sales and you're sending us emails or calling us and saying, okay, these are the properties that I found on your website using your search engine. How do we go from here? Let's look today then at the actual process of purchasing a bank-owned property. There are three things that go into the packet that we would send to the bank on your behalf. The first of those is contract. This is called a FAR as is contract. FAR stands for Florida Association of Realtors / Bar Association. That means that this contract has been approved by both of those bodies, and this is a form that we would fill out on your behalf and have you sign. This is the way that contracts are presented, by the way, here. For those of you that are from overseas countries where you start out with verbal offers and then proceed to a written contract, that's not the way it goes here. You always present your offer by way of contract. Don't worry, it doesn't normally bind you at that point. The bank will always send back addenda for you to sign, which will constitute a counteroffer, at which point you're able to back out. So don't worry too much about that. This is the way we present the offer. That's the first part of the packet. The second part of the packet is a proof of funds. This should look like this. I'm going to wave it around because it belongs to somebody. It's a statement. If you're going to buy an offer, if you're going to pay cash for something with an institutional body like a bank, the bank needs to know that you have the funds in the bank to make the purchase if you're selected as the winning bid. Okay, they will require, as part of the packet, a proof of funds. It can be normally a bank statement or some other kind of statement that shows that you have the money. The last thing that would be required is a check. It doesn't need to be a real check. You don't need to mail us anything. A photocopy of a check is fine. We would tell you which title company to make it out to, or you could write escrow only. And again, for those of you that are from out of the country, this money will go into a sterile escrow account that can't be touched by either the buyer or the seller until the time comes. Those are the three things that go into your packet, okay? Now, the next question most commonly asked is, back to the contract, how much should the offer be on the contract, okay? The two parts to this, by the way. First of all, there's a deposit, which needs to go down, and that deposit depends on the bank. Sometimes it'll be a specific dollar amount. The bank will ask for example, $1,000. Other times they may ask for a percentage, 5%. It really doesn't matter. It's different every time. And just a word of advice, sometimes it's better to give a little more than is asked for if you're up against multiple bids. It makes sense to offer a little more down payment because the banks like to see that you're serious, and when they're looking at multiple offers, they're more likely to select the person that's made the larger deposit. You may also want to consider an increase in purchase price, and that's what I'd like to talk about now. For those of you that are investors that are looking in the $50,000 and under category, please be aware, unlikely as this may seem, we're now in a seller's market here in Florida, within that category only. Okay, so if you're under $50,000, it's not okay for the most part when you see a property for $50,000 to say, go ahead and offer them 40. It's not going to happen. Okay, we're not in a buyer's market. We're in a seller's market. If you want the property, you may have to offer more. Now, if it's been on the market for, let's say, a couple hundred days, and we can see how many days it's been on the market, then in those circumstances, it may be appropriate to offer a little less. Other times, it may be appropriate to offer the exact amount that's being asked. But increasingly, particularly for properties that are new on the market or that are considered hot properties, if you like, offering more is probably the only way you're going to get it. And the first thing that the bank will do in such cases is send you a disclosure, a multiple offer disclosure, which is their way of letting you know that they are considering multiple offers on this property. And that you should put in your highest and best offer right from the word go. You don't get a second chance. It's a one-shot deal, okay? So these are the three things that you would need to put in: contract, proof of funds, and a check. Back to the check. If you're selected as the winning bid, then at that point you would be asked to wire the amount that's on this check. Okay, this would then be destroyed. This will never be cash. This is just a photocopy to show them that you have a check account and that you're serious. You would then wire the money to them, and the remainder would be wired at a later date. Okay, so I hope that helps. That's it for now. We'll be back again, hopefully with some more interesting information for you in the future.